Morning, everybody. We got some breaking news. I missed this earlier, but this is pretty big news. It came in. Evidently, it happened overnight. Okay, but it says U.S. flights beginning to resume after FAA system outage. Now, the outage happened over around midnight. Okay, which is very weird. But I'm talking worldwide, all flights. Crazy. But everything in America, all the flights had to be grounded while we slept last night. It says U.S. flights were slowly beginning to resume departures after the Federal Aviation Administration scrambled to fix system outage overnight and impacted thousands of flights. The FAA had ordered airlines to pause all domestic departures after its pilot alerting notice to air missions systems went down. The FAA said departures were resuming at Newark and Atlanta airports due to air traffic congestion in those areas. We're expecting departures to resume, others around 9 a.m. this morning. Flights already in the air were allowed to continue to their destinations. U.S. President Joe Biden has been briefed on the FAA system outage. Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre said on Twitter, "There's no evidence of cyber attack at this point," which they wouldn't tell you if it was. The FAA still is working to restore the systems and alert pilots to hazard changes to airport facilities and procedures that had stopped processing updated information. So his latest updates, U.S. investigating FAA outage, cause not clear. So nobody seems to know what happened, but every one of the airplanes, evidently their systems went down after midnight. All of them in the United States. Coincidence? And today is on the Creator's calendar is 9/11. Keep that in mind. Today is 9/11 on the Creator's calendar. Let's see. The FAA is still working on to fully restore the notice of air missions following the outage. While some functions are beginning to come back online, National Airspace Systems operation remain limited. A total of 32,578 flights were delayed within or into or out of the United States as of 8 a.m. this morning. Flight tracker websites FlightAware showed, without citing reasons, another 409 within, into, or out of the country were also canceled. Shares of U.S. carriers fell in Wednesday's trading. Southwest Airlines was down 2.4%, while Delta Airlines and United Airlines and American Airlines were down 1%. A NOTAM is a notice containing information essential to personnel concerned with flight operations but not known far enough in advance to be publicized by other means. Information can go up to 200 pages. For a long-haul international flights, it may include items such as runway closures, bird hazard warnings, and construction obstacles. This is the system that went down. United Airlines said it had temporarily delayed all domestic flights and would issue an update when it learned more from the FAA. German and Air France both said they were continuing to operate flights to and from the United States, while France Airlines said it was monitoring the situation. So this only happened in the United States. The operator of Paris International Airport's Paris Charles Airport, Orly Airport said it expects delays to flights. So this is like crazy how many flights was grounded over this. A total of 21,464 flights are scheduled to depart airports in the United States today, carrying a capacity of 2.9 million passengers data has shown. American Airlines has most departures from U.S. airports with 819 flights scheduled, following by Delta Airlines and Southwest. Let's see. Wow. I just think it's not coincidence that happened today, when today on the Creator's calendar is 9/11. Just crazy that happened. Thought I'd get that out there to you guys. I thought that was worth mentioning to keep your head on a swivel, because I think that could mean something. I just don't know what it is yet. We probably won't know until later. But that could be a prelude to something to happen. So, and I'm expecting things to really start ramping up a lot here in the next couple of weeks into next month, that things are going to get really crazy. So be aware of it, that these things are coming to pass, and be ready for it, because I'm telling you, there's something going on. And if I'm correct, this will also play into the Kyiv thing. All of it revolves around what's going on in Ukraine. All of it does. And it all will come to head in one day. And when it does, all chaos will begin. But that's when the rapture will either happen before that. And I think what will happen, people keep talking about the 3 days of darkness. What you'll have is that when the rapture happens, there'll be 3 days of darkness after. I think that's what's going to cause the 3 days of darkness. Been trying to piece all this stuff together, because we all keep saying 3 days of darkness. I think the rapture will happen, then there'll be 3 days of darkness, and I mean there'll be no moonlight, no sunlight, no nothing. You won't be able to see in front of your hand once you walk outside for 3 straight days. It's happened before in Egypt. So it will happen again, but the rapture, I think, brings it on. And then slowly right after that, World War III will begin. And it will happen like that. Or World War III happens right at that moment. And we're getting raptured, then the 3 days of darkness, and then the tribulation starts. Are we in the tribulation? No, we are not. Trust me, you'll know the tribulation if you're stuck here. You'll know it. Because I know somebody had the thing that the church needs to be prosecuted, or it has to be. People, we've been being prosecuted since the church started. All the disciples was killed, okay? The church has suffered, but the church accepted Jesus. We're not subject to wrath. He says it. If you would read your Bible, you will know that. But see, you don't read your Bible. And if you don't read your Bible, you're not going to know these things. But see, they get that. They go straight out, get that out of Matthew, drives me nuts. And I just kind of ignore them now, because, like I said, God will deal with them. I'm not too worried about it. I'm telling you to be ready for the rapture. If you're truly his sheep, they ain't. Okay? They won't hear it. God's made them blind to it, because just like he did the Jews, they would not accept him, so he blinded them. He's blinding these people too, because he's told them the truth. They will not preach the truth, so now he's blinded them, and they will not be able to see it, because they're going to be the ones here that's probably going to end up being the tribulation saints. Because there's got to be some people left here that would not figure it out or listen to God while they was here under the grace period. But they're going to figure it out in the tribulation. They screwed up. But they're going to end up being the tribulation saints. So you can't argue with them, because they're probably meant to be the tribulation saints. Do y'all follow me? Because there's going to be some here. A lot of them's going to be left here. They will be the tribulation saints. They're blinded. It don't matter if you show it to them over and over and over. They're meant to be here once we're gone. There's nothing you can do. God's already blinded them. He's already chose which ones are going to be the tribulation saints. They're not going to hear to it, because they're blinded. Just like the Levites and the rabbis of Israel. Same way, they're blinded. You can't convince them. You can't tell them, because it's not meant to. Okay? So you got to get it out of your head. But I'm here to tell you, there's a rapture. It's coming. The church is leaving. And then God will deal with Israel for 7 years. It's in the Bible, people. It's there. Evidently, we're not supposed to be here in the tribulation, because we get it. We know it's the word. So we're not blinded to it. We are awake. So we get out of here. Okay? So if you hear somebody start talking like that, just get off of there. Go away from it. That's all you got to do. It's easy. Just click off. That's all you got to do. Okay? I want to say, if you want to be on this channel, join us for all kinds of updates, different things, rapture dreams. Everything's in the description box. If y'all hear that beep, I know it drives y'all crazy, but I can't turn that off. That is my security system, and it just does that. And I'll turn it off, and it rings back through it. Anything that happens outside, it clicks on. I mean, that's just the way it's set up. So, only thing I know to do is take the speaker out of it, and I've tried and can't do it. So, there's nothing I can do about the beep, so you'll have to get used to it. But like I said, that's not important. You better be ready for the rapture. Quit worrying about the beak that's behind me because you're out of time. Okay? But the Telegram channel, everything's in the description. Also, Kim Fisher had a big update last night. And I told you about San Francisco, about something going to happen in San Francisco. Well, she's been seeing San Francisco also. So I'm going to put that in the description box so you all can check Kim out. If you ain't got it, subscribe to her. Subscribe to her. She's the real deal. She sees things before they happen. And I'm telling you, I go through a lot of these channels, and I usually post these people that I know that really have a connection to God, and she's definitely one of them. Okay, so go on, subscribe to her. Thank you for all your emails, all your dreams, visions, moon pics, all that. You send it to the email in the description, and we'll get those on for you. So that's going to be our update for this time. Like I said, we'll have more coming through the day, more dreams, more visions. Okay, until then, if you don't see me again, I'll see you in heaven.